fact of the matter is, nobody's coming. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody wants to help you out. And they don't particularly care if you work through your problems or not. They only care about themselves and what you can do for them. And you just have to be quiet and eat it. Man, beautiful downtown Houston. Got a couple of cases today, so I'm gonna go knock those out. Had a hell of a time training yesterday. I trained for 2 sessions. Yesterday was Monday. Trained for 2 sessions. Not the easiest training because even though my arm is definitely getting better, so it's not as bad an issue as we thought it was. On last Thursday when it got hurt, even though it's definitely getting better, I still trained with old school with one hand in my belt, just so I could, force myself not to use it, which definitely made it hard because, you're swimming with sharks with one fin. You're basically food, but it was good. I still got, good workout, good training, got to do some things that I don't normally do, just in the effort to try to be able to go. So it's all good. It shouldn't be an issue for too much longer. It's 9:36 right now, so I'm gonna run in the courthouse, see what's going on, and I will touch base with you guys when I get out. All right. So one of the things that I always hated was when I was a prosecutor, especially when I started out, was I hated when people would go and they'd go over my head and they wouldn't talk to me and they'd go straight to my supervisor and pretend like I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. It was annoying, right? Because they just wanted to get something done, right? And then, whatever, it was fine. But now I can't get anybody to do their fucking job. I can't get anybody to do what they're supposed to do. It's super frustrating because you have people's lives that are hanging in the balance, and all you have to do is look at 2 photographs and realize, hey, this is not right. Let me do what I'm supposed to do. Let me do what I swore to do, which was seek justice. But instead it's like, well, hold on, let me do this. Hold on, let me do this. Hold on, let me do this. And it's just like, what are we waiting on? And it forces you to go around people, to go over people's heads, to go to their supervisors. And I try not to do that because I don't like to, I don't want somebody's supervisor looking and going, why didn't you do this? This is super easy. I don't want anybody to get in trouble, but come on, do the job. So it's so simple, and I don't understand why if you have a lot of stuff to do, right? I remember you're a prosecutor, you have 300, 400, 500 cases, they're all your responsibility, and I get that, and that's a lot of stuff. It's a heavy responsibility, it's a lot of stuff to do. But the way that you handle that is the things that are simple, you get them done so that they're not lingering, so that you can have time and spend time on the difficult stuff, instead of this that we're doing now, which is just sitting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and Jesus Christ, waiting. It's like, fuck. Needless to say, I didn't get very much done today. Whatever. I'm gonna go home, rest, eat, get ready for training tonight. The Austin Open is in a couple of weeks. I just, as badly as I want to compete, I'm just not going to sign up. I just need to get better for Master Worlds. That's going to be my whole focus, is getting ready for Master Worlds. So it is what it is. All right. I vented about work. I'll check back in later and hopefully have some better news about something else. All right. Unequivocally, the best part of this, without exception, without question, is coming downtown, getting up, knowing you have very little to do downtown and you could be in the office working and doing 100 other things, and you come downtown, get all dressed up, you go through all the rigmarole, you park, you do everything, and then your client doesn't show up. And it's like, man, talk about several wasted hours. It's fine, it's part of it, but man, it's just time you can't get back. It's all good though. It's helping people out is kind of why we do it, even though it gets frustrating and very difficult, and you have to deal with times like, days like this, and because it's criminal law, you have to deal with the victims and their families and your clients and their families. It's still worthwhile. And the thing is that what people don't understand is when it comes down to your clients' families, they may have made a mistake, right? Client may have made a mistake, but this mistake affects their life, their wife, their children, their parents. It's a far-reaching mistake. The victims, their families. I mean, there's a lot of people affected by it, and more often than not, you're talking about, a 5-10 minute period of somebody's entire life where they've made this catastrophic mistake. So, there's a lot to consider, and you have to consider the human factor, but you have to consider the human factor from both ends, right? Because it's not only your client, but you also have to consider the human factor of the victim and the human factor of society at large. So there's a lot to it. But like I said, we do it, we protect the Constitution. It's important to protect the Constitution because, if they can violate one person's rights, they can violate everybody's rights. So the Constitution needs to be protected at all costs, and that's what we try to do. So anyway, I'm gonna head into the office and figure out what's going on there, and I'll catch up with you guys later. What is up? Last week was super uneventful. Even though it was 4th of July week, it was, I trained all week with one arm after American Nationals, which was a task to say the least. It was very, very different. I had to play guard, which is probably my C or D game, and I had to play guard with one hand, which was, even more complex. But I actually felt pretty good, and I felt like I was getting some things done, understanding some concepts and stuff that, it's kind of hard to work on when you're always able to default to your top game and what you're really good at. So yesterday, which was Monday, was my first day back with two arms, and I still was I was still working on I was still pulling guard, working on some guard stuff, because even though my arm feels a lot better, it's probably only about I would probably say about 75 to 80%. So I didn't want to just go too hard and two balls out, even though I went super hard. Not gonna lie, I was very aggressive. Got to some positions that I had been trying to work on, and I just had to kind of, like Paul always says, put the ego aside and just try and do what you've been trying to work on. That's how you get better. So I've been working on a couple of new positions, there it is. That's what's going on. That's what the last week's been about. I didn't really do any recording last week because I don't know, I was out of it and I was kind of down because I was hurt, and I was hoping that everything was going to be okay and hoping I got better, and Master Worlds is in a couple of months, and am I going to be okay for that, and blah 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 blah. And Austin Open is this weekend coming, the 11th or whatever day that is, and I wanted to compete there, but I'm not going to compete there because I don't want to get re-injured, and my focus is Master World, so I just have to do that and train really hard for that, and it's just a lot. Right now I'm on my way to the gym, but I'm going to teach a private lesson with my student Gabby. She's a great kid. I'm just trying to help her out with her jiu-jitsu and make her stronger and more confident in the moves and techniques that she has and that she knows. So that's cool, and living the dream, right? So I'll be back in more. I'll be sending more vlogs. I'll be shooting more videos for this week so that I didn't post anything Sunday, but I'll post something this Sunday. We'll have way more stuff for you guys. So I'll check back in a little bit. All right. Another night of training in the books. It's a good night. We're just hanging out. It's a long week, man. I've had a week, bro. You don't even want to know, man. Like, it's only Wednesday, and I get to court yesterday and find out that my client has been shot and killed by a lawyer that used to represent him, which, Jesus Christ, I don't really know what happened there, but that's what I walk into. So there's that nightmare. And then because I used to handle all those police brutality cases, I get like 3 or 4 calls, all these emails about doing interviews because of this ICE shooting that we've had locally, which, yay me, I certainly want to deal with that. I mean, I left the DA's office and I no longer have that position, so I don't really deal with that stuff anymore. And then, lo and behold, here's a bunch of reporters want to talk to me about this thing, and I'm like, man, I just want to relax, bro. And then I find out that one of my cousins has got himself in a little bit of trouble in another state. So it's like, come on, man. I just want a regular week that's kind of quiet, nothing going on. I can just chill. But instead, I got this, which is fine because it could be worse. It could be plenty worse. I could not have any of that, and I could not have anybody want to talk to me about anything. Which I don't know if that would suck or not, right? Like, it just not be bothered. But it's all good. We're training hard. The kids got Kids Pan Am's coming up, and they also have the Austin Open this weekend. I'm not gonna be able to compete in the Austin Open because with the shoulder injury, I just want to make sure that my shoulder's right before I go back out there and start going crazy in competition. So but I'm back training, back 2 arms, working, trying to figure out what's gonna happen in the next month. I got to see what's happening Monday. Well, Monday should be a big day. So I'll fill y'all in on on how Monday goes when that happens. That should be super exciting for me anyway. Yes. And I don't know, man. It's just we're just hanging and trying to figure out what's going on. Oh, okay, that's just that. So anyway, I'm gonna make this drive home, and I'll tap back in. I'll probably jump online tonight. I know I'm jumping online tonight because I got to keep the stream going. Try to get some action there too. So we'll see. All right, guys, I'll check back in later. Watch the edge, ladies. Watch the edge.
San Antonio Hot Dog Festival. Me and Jules coming soon.
Next week, bro. It's next. The San Antonio, right? It's next week.
Coach Jules Flex.
There you go. It's on the 18th. It's on the 18th of July. Yeah. Bro, I was thinking about it.
Hey.
We did make a reel this week. Did a really good job with it. We did 25,000 views in the first 24 hours. So that's pretty cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop you in, let you see the reel, and then the good part, I'll let you see some of the outtakes from it too, which are ridiculous. But with the kids at the gym, they're a great bunch of kids and they have a lot of fun. So you know, that'll be cool.
Mashallah, mashallah.
How are they stretching for you?
Huh? I need them to stretch for me.